Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Closing Comments here on June 12th. Before we jump into these charts tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the situation going on over in the Middle East. We did see Israel striking some nuclear facilities this evening in Iran, causing a little bit of a stir in the oil and equity markets tonight. Equity markets down a little bit, over 1.5%, S&P down 1.5%, with the NASDAQ being the weakest. So far here, these indexes have pulled back and are trying to find good support here at this 20-day moving average. We'll have to wait and see how this overnight session plays out, as well as seeing how the market reacts to the overnight news come the day session open tomorrow. We do expect to see this dip be bought up as this big picture uptrend remains intact. We will just have to wait and see how the market responds to it tomorrow morning. It'll be a good way to gauge the severity of the situation as well as the health of this market, so just something to keep an eye on. We are remaining bullish here given the situation, but still have a pretty good looking technical picture here on the equity markets. Let's jump over to the crude oil market now, which is seeing a lot of volatility here tonight. We did see this front month oil contract trading up there above 77 at one point this evening. Right now we are up just shy of 9% here. With this front month contract trading right around 74 right now. A lot of volatility here following the situation in Iran. Oil markets always love escalation in the Middle East. Prices really spiking up here this evening. This is just a good showcase in how the technical picture usually front runs the fundamental situation even before we know the news. We did see this bullish breakout coming in last week. Last week's close above 64, we talked about how breakout above 64 was going to put us into bullish territory and had us flip our bias to bullish coming into the week. This market kicked off and started moving higher with not much of an explanation other than a nice technical breakout until this evening when we did see the bombing strikes in Iran tonight really getting this market moving. But just a good show in how the market was preparing for it before we even knew the news. The technical picture, price doesn't lie, always leading the way. Just something to keep an eye on here and something to watch. With the equity and oil markets out of the way, now let's jump over to the cattle market. So given the situation over in the Middle East, we'll have to wait and see come tomorrow morning how it's going to affect some of these other markets that are closed tonight. But shouldn't have much of a meaningful impact on the market other than just the initial shock reaction. So if we do see any sort of downside moves tomorrow, shouldn't be unexpected given the overbought territory we're already in and some good breakdown levels signaling a potential pullback could be underway here. But all that being said, let's just take a look at the day's action and see what played out. We did see a nice little inside day with price hanging out inside our prior day's range. We did see a close down here near the low of the day, showing a little bit more bearish picture here, at least in the short term. Cattle market, big picture uptrend still remains intact. We would expect to see any dips coming from here to be bought back up. If we take a look at our lower time frame here tonight, we are seeing over the course of this week lower highs coming in. There's slowly descending here while price is hanging out in this 216 to 219 range. Today, price just settling in here right in the middle. We did see a lot of these equal lows today getting tested right around 216.72. So going into tomorrow's session, breakdowns below 216.72 will have us sniffing 216 again. And if we start to get offers below 216, expect to see this pullback get underway. This big picture uptrend remains intact. We do expect to see the bulls step in and buy this market at some point, but we just would expect to see with offers below 216 this market cool off a little bit and offer a little bit better value for the buyers out there. With 216 breaking it down tomorrow, if that does come into play, we would expect to see price flush down to try and fill this gap we created back between the 4th and 5th of June here. This little gap and run here move that pushed us up to this most recent all-time high is going to be the bears' first target here as they look to backfill that gap and pull back towards this 20-day moving average, which just happens to be resting right in that gap at the moment, right there at 212.70. Look for the pullback tomorrow to start pushing lower. We would expect to see anywhere from this gap down to this prior week's value area at 211. Would expect to see buyers stepping in. Not something I want to step in front of right at the moment, but would like to see how the market acts once we get down there. If we start to see some good supportive action at these in between or at these major moving averages, be looking to for another buying opportunity here, as we do expect this cattle market to continue rallying, but we just could see a pullback here in the near term. If none of that plays out and we continue to chop up here or even get bids above 219 tomorrow, we could see this market just start to drift back up into those 220s. But given the situation, would expect to see that pullback play out tomorrow. Jump over to the feeders now. A little bit of divergence here as well. Again, in the feeder market, fats were down a little bit weaker today, while these feeders managed to basically close unchanged on the day. We did see price hanging out inside the prior day's range here as well. Lower time frame just showing an early sell-off with price rallying back and just settling in the middle of the range. Nothing super worrisome here, but like that fat cattle market, we're up here at overbought territory. Pullback would be healthy here and would be good to load up at to the long side at some of these value areas, see if some of these major moving averages are able to get tested. Be looking for support here in the event of a pullback, as we do expect to see dips bought up and this big picture uptrend resume. But here in the near term, we just could see this pullback, so just be ready for dips to buy going into the end of the week. Jumping over to the corn market now. Prices just hanging out in between our pivot points for the week. This corn market hasn't really offered a whole lot of opportunity here this week, as it has continued chopping sideways here right around 440. Nothing really to do going into the end of the week tomorrow. Expect to see prices continue chopping or push back up into these moving averages. Just a real choppy, ugly week for the corn market. But price is just getting comfortable here right around 440. This December contract also hanging around this 440 price point as well. Just look for a little bit more chop to close out the week and see if next week offers any better opportunities in this corn market. We already covered the oil and equity markets a little bit here tonight, but given this big spike here, we got a lot of volatility in this oil market. This is just going to be at the mercy of the situation going on over the Middle East. We'll see if that situation dies down. We could see this market come back just as quick as it went up. So just want to be cautious there to anyone who's got some longs this week. The downside could come just as fast with a de-escalation in the situation. This oil market, if we take a big zoom out here and shut off our averages, we can see over the last few years, we have followed this dating back to September of 2023. We have followed this big picture downtrend line, keeping price capped over the last almost 2 years now. We did see oil spike right up to that trend line. We did violate it briefly, poking above it given the volatility of the situation. But this is a spot up here in the upper 70s that we could have seen the worst of it, and we could see this market start to pull back once again, heading back down into the 60s following this spike up here. We have seen a lot of resistance in the upper 70s dating back several months and even into the last year. So be looking for price to continue to have lots of volatility here, but we could be seeing some resistance up here as we near 80. This market's just going to be at the mercy of the situation over there in the Middle East, so we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out and see if this thing will continue. And equity markets, like I said earlier, we are seeing this sell-off here in the evening session so far, but the equity markets remain healthy. We are up here at, I wouldn't say overbought territory, but we are starting to get extended, and as we have seen a couple weeks of upside here, pullback here would be healthy. Good support here at these major moving averages should offer some good buying points on the underlying names. Be looking for this uptrend to continue. We could just see this pullback. Just need to wait and see how the market reacts tomorrow morning to the situation, and could offer us some good buying opportunities going into next week. That's all we got for this evening. Have a good night.